Oh, greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. I hope everybody's doing well. Wait, I believe everybody's doing well. I have faith everyone's doing well, and everything is unfolding perfectly. I'm excited yet again because I have another extraordinary guest, Lynn Girardi. And before she tells you anything about her, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her to get us started. We have an exciting show today. I'm just so happy. I love talking to people. You all know that. I love engaging in amazing high vibrational dialogues with just people around the world, around the country, international, just everywhere. It's just amazing to learn about people. Let me get started. I'm rambling on now. So Lynn Girardi is the creator of the holistic wellness company. Whole Life Boogie helps conscious entrepreneurs who may feel stressed or uncertain to find relief, a renewed positive mindset, and a clear business direction to manifest the successful career they desire through joy and ease. Now, she has an extraordinary bio here, and I'm going to be sure that I post this up. It's going to be connected to this video once this is up on my YouTube channel. But let me just sort through some of this because she has some amazing things here. Like she was a designer in the corporate world for magazines like Health Magazine, and worked with a designer for the TV cable companies like HBO, just ballroom dancer, and mentored by the likes of Bob Proctor and Sandy Forster and Mike Dooley, amazing, and studied philosophies from the likes of Abraham Hicks. And I love Abraham Hicks. I love Esther Hicks. I love, and just so many things that you have going on. You're in a fitness instructor and just so many things, and law of attraction and just everything. So whether me keep just going on, how are you doing today, Lynn?
I'm doing great, Luke. Thank you so much for having me here. This is a wonderful honor to be here. Thank you.
Yes. So let's just get right into it. Now,
yeah.
Lynn, for everybody, she sent me some talking points too, and I'm going to refer to that. I'm just being very transparent here. And there are amazing talking points. But you know what's intriguing me right now is I want to know that first of all, how you got started as a creator of the holistic wellness company, and how you start working with, these business people and entrepreneurs. I mean, what caused you to go in that direction? What illuminated to make that happen?
Thank you. That's a great question. I mean, it's been a journey, right? Like, I mean, that can sound cliche, but it's like, I always was interested in doing artwork as a child. Okay. But meanwhile, I mean, it's interesting you're bringing this question up because it's making me realize, clarify. Thank you. You're clarifying for myself here. So I was into art, which led to a graphic design career because I had a passion for art and designing things. Okay. So I followed that. But meanwhile, that was like my original schooling. But meanwhile, at home, my aunt in particular introduced the family to this is kind of interesting, I think, concept therapy, which was basically like a wellness philosophy.
Concept therapy. Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of it, but then years later, I was at a Bob Proctor, the teacher and author from The Secret movie, right?
Love Bob Proctor. Rest in peace, Bob Proctor.
Yeah, God bless him. May he rest in peace. So I was at one of his programs, and a few of his programs, and I noticed that he would draw a diagram of the conscious and subconscious mind, a stick figure, and he said it was from Dr. Thurman Fleet, and that meant that he took the same concept therapy as my aunt and my parents wound up taking in the 70s. So wow. I was on an art path, school-wise and career-wise, and yet at home and the relatives, they were always talking about positive thinking. They didn't call it law of attraction back then.
Right.
They called it that, your thoughts could attract things. And then I started kind of merging the two, a little bit more recently. I don't want to go on that, but unless you have some other question about that. But
no, that's fine. But
yeah,
it's just so amazing how some people, I won't say all, because I didn't know anything about, attracting things in the way, our thoughts and words and things like that. But it's amazing how your family, even though they didn't have it wasn't under the title of law of attraction, they still tapped into it without even knowing. And for those of you that don't know, it works, whether you know that it works or know what the title is of what you're doing or not. It
I
works.
feel that way too. Yes,
Yeah.
right.
So
like gravity, right?
Yeah,
Whether you understand it or not,
whether you understand it or not, it still works. It doesn't mean it doesn't. The law is still the law. And it's just amazing how they were tapped into that, and that you were exposed to that at that time. And it just flowed and grew in your life. Just amazing.
Yeah. And but like with all these things too, though, it's kind of like a lot of times, why do people study this kind of work, right? My aunt, I don't know specifically what, I think she was actually going to like a family, I think she had like an alcoholic actually in the family, and her, like, her immediate family. So I think through Alcoholics Anonymous, the family support group that they had for that, like she was Al-Anon or something, I think it was called. I think somehow maybe somebody there mentioned concept therapy, and maybe that's how she got involved in it. And then she started teaching basically, if any kind of anxiety or trauma or whatever in the 70s, that was one of the things. They didn't have The Secret movie, but they had that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
and
amazing.
Bob Proctor found it too. And I went up to him at one of his classes, and I said, "So my parents took concept therapy. My aunt," I said, "I noticed your stick figure." He said, "Did you take it?" He said, "Yeah, that's a fine program."
Yes, I found that's just amazing how people I keep connecting with. We keep not saying it every single person that we follow every single person the same, but a lot of the people that that I admire, that I consider even a distant mentor of mine, are people that I end up talking to. It's the same thing. And it's just, that's another thing I think the universe is letting us know, giving us, little
your vibe attracts your tribe. Right. That's that quote, your vibe attracts your tribe.
Attracts your tribe. It's letting us know. Looking at your tapping us on the shoulder, saying, yes, you're heading in the right direction.
Here's one that you'll connect with, and I could tell, like I started telling you before this, I could tell, going through your different videos and hearing what you were saying to the people you were interviewing. I was like, this guy talks like me. Right.
So we're
about alignment and and kind of some Abraham Hicks things, and so I love it.
Right. And changing your thoughts. And that's something that I'm working on every day, just learning how to elevate my consciousness. There's certain things that I obviously still don't know, but at the same time, I believe that as long as I'm open and aware, and I encourage people out there, just stay open and don't think that you've grown as much as you can. No.
Right. Sure.
Yeah. You keep growing, and you keep even certain ideas and certain perspectives that didn't make sense to you at one point. Later on, it will, as your life progresses and as you go through certain things. Even if you first hear something, you might go, I don't really get that.
Right.
But then it's in your subconscious mind. So later on, your subconscious mind will recall it, and then it'll put it in its proper place. But I just believe in just working on myself, all
every
the time.
Day.
Every day.
And
but at the same time,
ups and downs.
But at the same time, knowing that we are perfect who we are, and don't put ourselves down and say, oh, I have to work on myself because I'm no good. No, you're good where you are. I like to say that we're a work in progress and a masterpiece simultaneously.
I love that. I love that.
So because that means you're perfect how you are. That means that the shortcomings that you think in your mind are shortcomings, everything that you're going through, all the adversities, it's supposed to happen that way. And it's all in the process of shaping you to who you are. If you don't stay stuck, and if you just use everything to keep seeking balance and harmony and out of love, you'll just grow through everything.
Right.
And not saying it won't be difficult, depending on how you see it or what's going on or how your perspective is, you know, because some people go through difficult things. I can't say for everybody, but like when I've studied people like, you know, Gandhi or some of the gurus like Paramahansa Yogananda, now I'm sure they go through things, but nothing, but they've gotten to a state where nothing bothers them. Everything is like this, no matter what they're going through. And that's just amazing.
Right. You know, that just reminds me I was mentioning, I have the Law of Attraction book club. We were just discussing that in one of the books, Rhonda Byrne, who made The Secret, she
Rhonda
also
Byrne.
has, one of her more recent books was it the greatest secret or something like that. Anyway, she mentions the Sedona method. Okay. Which the gist of it, my understanding, is kind of like what you were sort of leading to saying. If you could kind of be okay, and this is a challenge, I think, for most humans. If in the midst of these, the contrast, the challenges we all have, no matter what, you know, how much we know about the law of attraction and we're practicing it, but, you know, I go up and down, you know, mood-wise and like, okay. And then like just a couple of days ago, I'm like, I don't know, you know, some days you feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. And and you hang in there and you try to shift your thoughts and focus better, and you'll rebound from that. Okay. But this one example, very quick, was about the Sedona method. It seems to be that they say, if you could just like kind of almost like be like a welcome mat in a way, welcome the challenge that you're in right now. Like, can you handle it right now? Just like say, can you just say, okay, I'm not thrilled with this thing right now, but I'm allowing it to be here. Okay. So just like almost like with your arms open, I think they suggested, just kind of sitting with it and not pushing against it, at least for a little bit. You're allowing it to be there, and then it sort of releases that way.
Yeah.
And I practice
non-resistance. Yes,
right.
Allowing the flow of things to just happen. Like, this is happening whether I want it to or not. So I might as well just embrace whatever's going on. And at the time, it can be difficult, but what is even the word difficult? Think about it. Difficult's all perspective. It's in here. For one thing that's difficult to someone else it isn't, you know? So that's how I know, I now understand now how things that I can see, that I perceive at this, my level of consciousness as difficult, how someone can sit there, you know, like a monk in a temple could sit there and be at total peace while the world is crumbling apart. A volcano could be going off in the distance and they're still like this.
And they're trusting in God, the universe, or whatever, you know, we're eternal beings, and, you know, and things will
that
okay,
everything is unfolding perfectly no matter what. And that's the mindset that I am. That's why I call it reaching towards our higher self. Our highest self, because I don't think we'll ever get to a point where we reach our highest self, but we can get close to it and reach towards it. And that's in me, part of my journey, I believe, in yours too, I'm sure as well, is to be in a place where you're just completely balanced all the time and at peace all the time. And that does not mean that nothing is happening. It just means that no matter what is happening, you're at peace.
Exactly.
And you don't react. You just calmly respond to whatever's going on. And that's the reason why I like having these conversations, to strengthen that within me, and reading books and following people like Bob Proctor and people like you to help strengthen that within myself.
And I'm so glad to have met you through here, and you know, and connecting, talking to you, your audience, etc. That we help each other to, you know, to stay as positive as possible. And not that, like they talk about, there's that, you know, that buzzword about toxic positivity. I'm you're supposed to still feel your feelings, allow them to be, but don't hang out there so long. You don't have to, like as Abraham Hicks would say, there's going to be contrast. There are the challenges. That's kind of part of the, you know, years ago, Les Brown, who was the first motivational speaker I used to go to, whose lectures I used to go to, he used to say, you think you're going to come to, life and everything's going to be totally smooth. He said, it's not that kind of party.
No, no, it's
like,
not.
But
It's
the
not.
challenge is part of the expansion. We can have joy, but there are going to be challenges. We're learning, we're expanding, but we don't have to suffer as much. It's human, and you don't have to beat yourself up when you do. I do suffer some, sometimes like I said, I have some bumpy days, including the pandemic, et cetera, and, different things in life. But
still
you don't have
even
to hang
now,
out there as long, right?
Even doing what I do and working on myself, I still, in my perspective, I still have just days that I get off balance. I put it that way.
Yes,
I get off balance, and then I have to. The good thing is that eventually I have to stop and get back on, get back on the horse, and then say, okay, let's go. But
I think the practice helps. The practice helps people to not have to stay in that low, stuck feeling for too long. The practice makes you able to snap out of it a little sooner.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes, so let's just elaborate just a little bit on, you work with people in business and as such, in helping people. And I'm just referring to some of your bonus tips, like replace complaining. You're just talking about stuff like that with looking for and talking about the good in each day. This is some of these are Lynn's words, everybody. So she sent me this: replace complaining with looking forward and talking about the good in each day and discussing your blessings. Replace watching too much TV news online with looking for positive news online. That's something that I do. I've replaced a lot of television watching with reading and discussions and things like that. Replace expecting the worst with considering possible outcomes you would like to see, that enhance your new positive expectations with daily positive thinking. And if it feels right to you, letting God handle the rest. That's exactly that's why I said before this conversation, I said, watch it just naturally transition into what we want to talk, what you want to talk about, what we want to talk about. And that's exactly everything that you just put in these points here, is in alignment and resonate exactly what we were just talking about. And that's where, getting back to the point where you help people to be able to do that, to get in that alignment space.
Thank you. Well, the most current thing actually kind of on my mind around that topic is it's the pandemic, right? And not to dwell on the pandemic, but I think that maybe many of us can look at the pandemic and see that there were some positive things that came out of it, some blessings, some maybe new projects, some new. I mean, even this, right? Me meeting you. I met so many different people, networked with so many other additional positive entrepreneurs and everything because of the pandemic, and we had more time at home, et cetera, right? But what happened with these points really came about in a list form because when the pandemic happened at the beginning of it, right, in the United States, anyway,
2020, I believe.
Yes, like March of 2020, right?
2020.
I remember looking on my, I was looking on my phone in Facebook at the news feed. I was trying to look for something during that time, March of 2020, to help me feel a little bit better. So because there's usually, inspirational things or funny things, but during that time when the pandemic happened, people were extra panicked. I don't dwell on that, but I'm just saying. People were
right. You're just making an observation. Yes.
Right. It was just more unknown. Right. So I'm looking at my Facebook thing to try to find some inspiration and hopefulness for myself. And I'm like, there's nothing here. Nobody posting anything good.
That means you had some changes to make yourself.
Yes. Right. Exactly. So then I said, hey, I have to, not only for myself, but for other people, I want to make sure that I start putting out some positive messages amid all of this negativity and fear and doubt that people are having.
Right.
So I started a positive Facebook group. I started a Law of Attraction Zoom book club that would meet once every week. I've been doing that for now 2.5 years straight.
Wow, amazing.
And because half of it is, like I said, I felt bad because if you and I and many of your viewers, I'm sure, if we believe that thoughts become things, and not that it's going to happen instantaneously, but you have a chance to shift things and make things better, but you don't want to just keep putting out negative momentum. And that's all I saw on Facebook. Like, is anybody, so I wanted to put that out there, because if people were going to try to attract wellness or hopefulness, we've got to start shifting our focus to some positive things.
To that, yes.
So I have a law of attraction life coaching certification I had taken a few years ago. So I just started kind of, putting that into these, like, a Facebook group and events, just to help people through the time, and myself.
That is amazing. And that's amazing. You. And that you talked about my journey, basically. Yeah. And I believe a lot of people can relate to that, is that, we expect and we want these good things to come, to us, and to these good experiences. And then we get frustrated when they don't. But then when you really take a second, just try to get out of your own way for a second and look to see what type of conversations you're engaging in, what type of energy you're putting out, what kind of things that you're taking in as far as in your mind, and that you're listening to, that you're viewing. And then you'll see that there's a similarity to what's showing up in your experience, your thoughts, your circumstances. It all connects together. You're talking about and worrying about things, then you get more things to worry about. You're talking, you're watching all this negativity and, things like that. You're reading all this negativity, you're watching the negativity in the news, and you have nothing but these worrisome, anxious thoughts all the time. And it's like bringing anxious and worrisome circumstances into your life. So that right there, I can honestly attest to that. My life has changed drastically when I really became aware of that, and that's just amazing that someone like you, is here to continue to reaffirm that to people, not only just from your research, but from your own life experiences. Because what you are telling me, from listening to you, you're telling me that the things that we go through, you can actually use them as an asset to help you become better. Right. You can let them define you and make you worse, or you can use them to make you stronger by going through them and growing through them, and then looking at the lesson within each thing. And okay, what's the lesson here? Okay, I need to shift my thoughts. I need to maybe improve my diet, and I need to improve the programming I'm watching. I need to, there's a lesson always somewhere. Yeah. So that's amazing. That's amazing.
And I actually, almost like, in spite of 2020, I mean, it still seems kind of crazy, but I wanted to bring some fun. Even I always like positivity, fun, and dancing and wellness. So there's like all that stuff. So in everything I do is kind of a combination of that. But so in October of 2020, I even said, like, I had this thing called Happy Renew Year 2020. And I was like, even though people were still so by March to October, we went through some stuff. Right. But it was like, we were all in 2020 was still tough for everybody. So I said, I know it's October, but let's have like a New Year's Eve redo right now. Because 2019 New Year's Eve going into 2020 didn't really work out that great. Right. I know. Yeah. Right. So I had a free online New Year's Eve party in October to make the most of the remaining 3 months of 2020. And I had at the end, I shot off a confetti cannon, and we had I do La Blast Dance Fitness, little dance activity, and talked about law of attraction and, our positive focus. So like, you can make the most of any challenging time too. Just because it's horrible and in some ways doesn't mean like, hey, you can still enjoy. This is our life, whatever the economy's doing. If there's a pandemic, no pandemic, this is the time of your life. You might as well, you have to kind of enjoy it and embrace whatever's going on and make the most of it. Because you're not passing this, we're not passing through this particular, moment again, as you mentioned to me earlier on in when we were talking before
That's
this chat.
amazing. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that, Lynn, just sharing all that amazing dialogue. And it looks
Thank
like
you.
that we're winding down to maybe before this turns off about a minute left. So before we get
Okay.
off of here, before we conclude, I want,
Yes.
while you're here live, how can people find you?
Thank you so much. Okay. Well, I really am pretty active on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. Facebook at Lynn Girardi. I guess we'll put it down, LYNNGIRARDI on Facebook, on Instagram, same thing. You'll find me on Twitter, YouTube, I'm building. I also have a website called wholelifeboogie.com. That's being renovated, but that's
Okay.
WHOLE.
Okay.
LIFE BOOGIE, because I love to do a little boogie.
Okay. And also, last but not least, your group. You have a group.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And on Mondays, again, I can't even believe, but as long as the pandemic's been going on, we've been doing this every Monday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern is what.
My apologies, everyone, for that slight glitch. But what I was asking is, Lynn, for your Facebook group that you were talking about earlier, I want to make sure that people know how to find that, the name of it, whatever information you want to give about it. Yes.
Thank you so much. Well, at the time I had called it Lovely Thoughts, Lovely Day. And I just want to mention that because the intention of the Facebook group was to help people think of a lovely day during 2020 when it started. But since now we're through a lot of the toughest times with the pandemic, I changed the name of the group to Happy Thoughts, Happy 2022. And that year just keeps changing. So it's Happy Thoughts, Happy, whatever the year is.
Yes. That's amazing.
People, yeah, thank you. So people can, I'll give you the link for that. If people want to join, it's a free group. And then as you had asked me before, the Law of Attraction Law of Attraction book club that I have, that's separate from the Facebook group.
Right.
But people from the Facebook group are in it mostly. But so the Law of Attraction book club is also free. That meets on Mondays currently at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 p.m. Pacific, etc. And it's by Zoom, and we have great conversations like this here, right? Like the conversations that you want to have, next level conversations with people, positivity, and we do that, but around different Law of Attraction books, like by Mike Dooley or Rhonda Byrne, etc. And we change it every couple of months.
Right. That sounds amazing. Wow. Thank you for sharing all of that.
Thank you so much.
I would like to ask you, if you have any last words you want to leave us with, any last thoughts, perspectives?
Thank you. Well, the thing about, I love the idea of which you were mentioning to me earlier about off camera, about being next level. If we want to take our lives or our careers, our businesses, whatever, to the next level, we have to keep practicing this kind of thing. We have to keep practicing positive thinking and like mindset exercises to uplift our thoughts, and also get around people who are also kindred spirits in that, and that they're trying to do the same thing, that they want to be in more of a positive vibration and positive discussions than all the negative that you hear just going down the block, during a day. And hey, how are you? Oh gosh, let me tell you, this hurts, that hurts.
Right,
or you go on
right.
the TV news, and
Very
there's enough negativity. Get around positive kindred spirits and have fun, and then that helps you also stay in a high vibration. So it's really that. It's more positivity around you. Have more fun. Keep practicing. And, you're doing fine. We're all probably doing a lot better than we think. Don't beat yourselves up either, right? I have to tell myself that too, right? We're human. We're We're spiritual beings having a human experience, right?
Right.
But we're still human. So don't be, we shouldn't beat ourselves up too much. Just get back on the horse, keep going, and try your best.
Amazing. Wow. What a way to conclude
Thank you.
this. That's amazing. Thank you very much. Lynn Girardi, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, amazing. I told you this was going to be amazing. And wow, amazing. Thank you. Enlightened, empowered, evolved, love and appreciation, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you.